Picture this. You're browsing online. Your cursor is hovering right over that ever so tempting buy now button. But let me ask you a question. What really happens in the hidden corridors of your brain at that very moment? Welcome to a journey into the neuroscience of shopping. I want you to imagine each price tag you see, each deal you consider. It's not just a number. Nope. It's a trigger. It's sending a ripple of reaction throughout your entire brain. Yes, my listeners, every time you're about to make a purchase, your brain is performing this delicate dance, this tango of emotions where pleasure and pain are the lead partners. But hold on before you go anywhere. What if I told you that this dance is not just about the joy of acquiring something new or the satisfaction of getting a good deal? What if I revealed that it actually is a battle? Yeah, a silent struggle between excitement and that little sting, that little ouch that your neurons feel with every price tag. Yeah, this is not just about spending money, though. It's a fascinating story of how our brains process the very concept of value and the concept of cost. A story that might change the way you think about every purchase that you make. So, stay with me. We're going to dive deep into a groundbreaking discovery from the corridors of Stanford University. Yep, a revelation that's turning the tables for marketers and buyers alike. How does this all play in the mysterious theater of our mind? Well, that's what we're about ready to find out. So let's uncover the secrets together right here on today's episode. Be prepared to be surprised. Be prepared to be intrigued and maybe even a little bit challenged as we explore the pain, the reward that all happens in the buyer's brain. You, my friends, will not look at shopping the same way again. What is up? What the hell is up, my dark horse entrepreneurs? Welcome back to your weekly dose of insightful revelations and empowering knowledge. I am your humble host, Tracy Brinkman, and today we're diving into a topic that is as intriguing as it is impactful: the neuroscience behind your buying decisions and your clients' buying decisions. We often think of shopping, it's just this straightforward act. You see something you like, you check the price, and you make a decision. Simple, right? Yeah, well, hold the boat. That's not quite as simple as it might seem. Because what if I told you that beneath that seemingly simple process, there lies this complex neural ballet that's going on within our brains as our brains weigh pleasure against pain and weigh the desire against the cost. Stanford University researchers, all led by the brilliant Brian Knudsen, have peeled back the layers of this process in a fascinating experiment they've done. You see, they place participants in an MRI scanner, but they didn't do this to diagnose anything. No, which is what it's usually used for, right? No, they did it instead to observe how their brains reacted to the sight of products as well as the sight of those prices. And what they found out is nothing short of revelation. When we see a product that captivates our attention, our brain's reward centers light up. Yeah, they start firing off signals of delight and firing off signals of desire. But here's the twist. When that price rolls into the picture, it's not excitement that fills our neural pathways. No. Instead, our brain lights up in a different area. An entirely different area of our brain lights up. And it is the pain center. Yeah, that's right, my friends. The act of spending money, of parting with your hard-earned dinero, activates the same regions in our brain that responds to physical pain. Yeah, pinch, ow, right? It seems the adage, no pain, no gain, takes on a whole new meaning when it comes to the realm of shopping. Now, in the dance of buying and selling, it's not just the price that leads. It's a complex choreography of brain activity that decides that final award-winning step. And today we're going to learn just how to lead this dance in our own tune. In this episode, as I mentioned earlier, we're not just talking about theory. No, we're unlocking the insights that can revolutionize how we approach buying and selling, whether it's for our businesses or for our own personal lives. How can understanding this dance of neurons help us become more savvy consumers? And how can understanding this dance in neuros make us more effective marketers? Well, that's the journey we're about ready to embark on. So grab your headphones, ladies and gentlemen, grab your neurons in both hands, and get ready for an episode that might just change the way you shop. It definitely will change the way you sell. And I think it's going to change the way that you perceive value. Let's unravel the mysteries of the buyer's brain together. Let's take a step into the world of neuroscience and marketing. Now, this is where a Stanford experiment, a study that might seem like it came straight out of a sci-fi novel, tends to unfold, or begins to unfold. It's a tale that not only fascinates, but also has profound implications for every single one of us as consumers, as well as entrepreneurs. And most of you listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to assume, fall into both of those categories. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to picture this. Those participants, they're invited into the laboratory. But instead of filling out those boring old typical surveys and filling out those checkboxes and questionnaires, they find themselves sitting in an MRI scanner. Yeah. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, this is not about checking their ailments or seeing what's going on. Hey, why do you have gray hair? Why do you have blue eyes? No, we're going a little bit deeper. We're going to peek into the window, into the inner workings of the human brain. Brian Knudsen and his team at Stanford University are about to embark on a journey into the neural pathways of decision-making. You see, the participants were being shown a series of products, and then each one of those were followed by a price. It's like online shopping, but in this case, every click, every glance, every nuance was being meticulously monitored deep inside their brain. And as those images of those products flashed up on the screen, pop, beep, pop, boom, something remarkable began to happen. The reward centers of their brains, the areas like the nucleus accumbens, oh God, I hope I didn't brutal that, accumbens, accumbens, began to light up. This is the brain's way of saying, oh man, I like this. Oh man, I want that. It was the kind of reaction you would expect when someone saw something desirable. Be it a new gadget, a fancy pair of shoes, or maybe just a tempting dessert. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. All right? But here it comes, my friends. You know it's coming. The twist. Bum, bum, bum. The moment the price tag appeared, a different part of the brain sprang into action. And it wasn't the area associated with reasoning. It wasn't an area associated with calculation. Because you might expect that, right? Okay, I start reasoning it out, figuring out why I want to do this and how much it's going to cost and figuring out, with tax and shipping, right? Those are kind of things you might expect in a transactional type of scenario. Instead, it was the pain center that began to light up and become active. Yeah, you heard me right. The same regions that responded to you getting pinched or punched, the ones that respond to physical discomfort, those are the ones that are being triggered by the sight of a price. Now, here's the thing I think makes this finding so revolutionary. It suggests that the act of spending your hard-earned dinero, your hard-earned money, the act of pulling out that credit card and swiping it across and parting with your financial resources is intrinsically linked to the sensation of pain. Now, albeit it may be on a subconscious level, it's still there. That's a stark contrast to the burst of pleasure at the sight of the desired product, isn't it? Yeah. So, when it comes to shopping, our brains aren't just calculating numbers. They're literally weighing out pleasure against pain. Each price tag becomes more than a number. It becomes this emotional cue that our brain interprets in some of the most fascinating ways. So, okay, Tracy, I get it. So what? What does that mean for us? Well, glad you asked. For starters, it challenges the traditional view of our consumer behavior. It's not about the rational assessment of cost versus benefit. No. There's an emotional, almost primal aspect of how we perceive value and how we're making these purchase decisions. So as we progress through the rest of this episode, I want you to keep this experiment in mind because it is going to become the key to understanding not just how we buy or why we buy, but how we can influence others in their buying decisions. Yeah, whether it's in marketing or it's in sales or just in your day-to-day interactions with those that you come across. So stay with me, don't go anywhere. We're going to delve a little deeper into the implications of this discovery and how it can be a game changer in the way you approach the market. Let's step back a moment here and start building on the eye-opening insights of that Stanford experiment, shall we? Let's now turn our attention to a formula that might be redefining the art of buying and selling. A formula? What are you talking about? Well, I can tell you it's not about discounts, it's not about deals, and it's certainly not about dazzling marketing strategies. Nope. And trust me, I've been an architect of all of those. Instead, my friends, it's about understanding a fundamental neural, you heard me, neural equation called the purchase formula. Now, this formula is a breakthrough in our understanding of consumer behavior. It goes beyond all the traditional values of economics and marketing, just right on past them. It's not merely about supply and demand. That is so 1980s, right? It's not about features and benefits. That's so 1990s. It's not even about, dare I say it, it's not about price points. Nope, that's so 2000s. It is about a deeper, more intrinsic process that occurs within the labyrinth of our brains. Yes, literally within our neurons. The purchase formula, simply put, is this. You listening? I don't care what you're doing. Come back to me. Whatever you're doing, just pause for a second and give me your attention. This will just take a couple of seconds. The purchase formula, simply put, is this. The likelihood of someone making a purchase is the difference between how much their brain's reward center is activated versus how much their brain's pain center is activated. In essence, it's literally the battle of two forces. Yeah, it's Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker inside of your head. The allure of a product on one side and the aversion of a price on the other. Yeah, think of it as a scale in your brain, right? The blind lady adjusts the scales tipped to one side. On one side of the scale, there's the excitement, the desire, and the I must have this feeling that your product or service should be evoking. On the other side, trying to push the scale the other way, there's hesitation, there's reluctance, and do I really need to spend this much? Yeah, all that doubt that your price is bringing. This secret formula to why we buy it's not in the wallet. I want you to hear me here. It's coded within the neurons of our brains, balancing the scales of desire and dread. Every purchase decision is a tale of two tales. It's a story of two tales, a tale of two stories, however you want to say it. It is the joy of gain versus the fear of loss. So, I get it, Tracy, whatever. What does this mean for us as entrepreneurs, marketers, and maybe even as consumers? Well, once again, I'm glad you asked. It means that we need to look beyond mere numbers. Yeah, it's not just about making a product cheaper. Not about slashing the price. Crazy Tracy, slashing the prices for Black Friday or the holiday season. Or it's not about throwing in the extra features. That big old value stack we keep seeing everyone doing. No, it's about tipping that neural scale in the favor of reward. Now, for marketers and entrepreneurs, this is a call to focus on enhancing the perceived value of your product or service, whatever it is. And, dare I say it, it's about storytelling. Yeah, it's about storytelling, creating emotional connections and building a narrative around your product that amplifies the desire and minimizes the pain of parting with the money. Now you feel me now, right? Yeah, okay. Now, as we as consumers, on the other hand, it's a lens through which we can view all of our future purchase decisions, right? Right? Why do we splurge on certain things but hesitate on others? Even when the price on both may be relatively low, it's because our brain is consistently doing this subconscious calculation, weighing the pleasure of the product against the pain of the price. So as we move forward, I want you to keep this formula in mind. It's not this academic concept. It literally is a practical tool that can transform how you approach every aspect of your selling and your buying. It's about understanding those formerly hidden forces that drive us forward and learning how to navigate them far more effectively. As we weave through the intricacies of the buyer's brain, let's pause for a moment for a segment I love called Whiskered Wisdom. Now, here's where I'm going to try and instill everything I've been sharing with you into a single practical tip that you can apply right now. As soon as you hear it, you can just walk away, you can hit pause and stop listening, come back and finish listening to the podcast episode later on. And whether you're on the buying side or the selling side, I think this tip will apply. In light of our fascinating journey through the neural pathways of buying decisions, our whiskered wisdom for today is going to focus on the true nature of the price. When it comes to setting a price or encountering a price, whichever it may be for you, it's crucial to remember one thing. That price tag is far more than a figure. I don't care whether that figure is 99 cents, $9.99, $9,000, or $99,000. It's not a figure. No, my friends, it's an emotional trigger. It is literally a spark in your brain that can ignite a range of responses inside the buyer's brain or inside yours, depending on which side of the fence you're on. So the next time you set a price or that you see one, I want you to remember this. It's not just a number. It's an emotional trigger. So what's your goal, you may ask? Well, here's your goal. I want you to aim for the reward. I want you to ease the pain. Whether you're pricing a product or contemplating a purchase, think about the emotional equation that's going on inside your head. For my entrepreneurs and marketers out there, this means that when you set the price of your product or your service, you're not just placing a monetary stamp of value on it, right? No, you're crafting an emotional message. The price that you set should not only reflect that product's value, but it should align with the emotional journey that you want your customer to go through, that you're going to take them on, what it is you want them to experience. If you're not giving them any emotional value, you better lower that price. If you are dropping the bomb of emotional value, you can inflate it. Equally so. It's about creating a sense of reward that outweighs the pain of parting with their money. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of ways to enhance the perceived value of your offerings, your product or your service. Could you add more to the story of your product? Yeah. Maybe you create this emphasis on its uniqueness. There's not another one out there like it. I'm the only one that has this and you need it. Maybe you emphasize its ability to solve a specific pain that they are having right now. What problem is your product or your service resolving? Or maybe it's a role. What role does your product or service play in enhancing your end customer's life? Remember, the more your customer perceives the product as rewarding, the less significant the pain of the price becomes. And again, doesn't matter whether it's 99 cents, $99, or $9,999. Now, on the flip side, as consumers, this wisdom we've just been imparted with invites us to look at prices with a little bit of a more discerning eye, right? When you see a price, it's an opportunity to ask yourself, what's the emotional journey that price tag is taking me on? Am I feeling more of the reward, or is the pain outweighing it? See, this mindful approach can lead to far more satisfying and regret-free purchase decisions. And man, we all want regret-free purchase decisions, right? So this whiskered wisdom, my friends, I don't think it's just a tip. I really think it's more of a mindset shift. Just, a little 3 degrees this way. Next thing you know, it's 3 degrees today, but as you travel down the road of life and entrepreneurship, that 3 degrees becomes 20, and then 50, and then 45 as time goes on, because you would have been over here and now you're way over here. And it's just tiny mindset shifts like this, which is why I try to keep delivering them on these episodes. It's about recognizing the power of price as an emotional lever and using it to create a balance that benefits both sellers and buyers. Yeah, you as the seller, you need to come away with a profit. I get it. To do that, though, you need to add the value. You need to add the emotion. So I want you to keep this wisdom close in mind, okay? Whether you're setting prices for your latest product or whether you're deciding on your next purchase, remember that dance of pleasure and pain and aim to tip the scales towards a far more rewarding experience, all right? Now, it's a bit of a fascinating journey through the buyer's brain, right? It's kind of a unique way to put forth a podcast episode, I think. But I think it's time to turn our gaze back towards the realm of marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, today's insights aren't just an academic curiosity. I personally think they are pivotal revelations that can reshape the way we approach marketing in its entirety, the way we do it going forward, or relook at how we did it yesterday. Yeah, this Stanford experiment and the ensuing purchase formula has kind of shed light on a critical aspect of consumer behavior. Now, some of you may have been aware of it before, but now it's clinically proven. And it is the emotional interplay involved in making purchase decisions. For marketers, I think this is a wake-up call to shift your strategies to look beyond the conventional focus on prices and features. Right? You can even go past prices, features, and benefits. Because traditionally, let's be honest, marketing has been very heavily price focused. Right? Like I said earlier, it's all about slashing. Crazy Tracy, slashing the prices. It's all about deals and discounts and getting the cost advantage. What? But what if I told you that approach might be missing a crucial piece of the puzzle? And that what if the key to effective marketing lies not in just slashing or lowering a price, but instead in elevating the perceived value, in elevating the emotional appeal of a product? Yeah, you feel me? If you can get in there, whoa, man. In marketing, the best price tag, no matter how high or how low, the best price tag is the one that feels less like a cost and more like a key to happiness. Oh, man. You come at it from that mindset, it totally changes the dynamic of the game. It's about crafting an experience where the pleasure of owning the product or going through the execution of the product or service far outweighs the pain of the price. This means, my friends, my fellow marketers out there, we need to dive deeper into the storytelling aspects of our products and services. It's about creating a narrative that resonates with the customer, one that highlights not just the features of the product, but the emotional journey that it offers. Yeah, it's about painting a picture where the product becomes a key to unlocking a happier and more fulfilling experience. Yeah, right? Did a little light just go off in your head? Because if not, just rewind about 30 seconds and re-listen to that, because I want you to think about how you can showcase your product in a way that maximizes its emotional appeal. How does it enhance a customer's life? Does it offer a solution to a problem, to a pain, provide a sense of belonging, or create an opportunity for self-expression? Oh, yeah. The more you connect with your consumers' desires, your customers' needs and pain points and aspirations, the more you can tip the neural scale in favor of reward. Yeah. Deliver on that value, and you need a higher price to do it. Furthermore, I'm just dropping all kinds of bombs here. This insight also calls for a more empathetic approach to your pricing. Yeah. It's not about slashing prices to the bone. It's about setting a price that feels fair, setting a price that's justifiable, and setting a price that's in harmony with the value, the emotional value that you are providing. It's a delicate balance, I get it, but when it's struck right, it can lead to a far more meaningful and far longer lasting relationship between you and your customer. So, man, get off my soapbox here for a minute. Now, on how this new understanding I just kind of shared with you can revolutionize all of your marketing efforts, whatever they may be, or how they can make you look at your past marketing efforts with a more discerning eye, right? It's a shift from cost-centric to value-centric. It's a shift from a transactional mindset to an emotional one. You feel me? Get out of your head and get into your heart. All right? So as we draw this enlightening journey to a bit of a close, it's time to reflect on the profound insights that I've kind of shared with you today, maybe unraveled a little bit for you. We've delved deep into the neuroscience of buying, of purchasing. We've explored how our brains dance this delicate ballet or tango or cha-cha of pleasure and pain with every purchase decision that you're making and that your clients are making or your prospects are making. Remember, when you're about to click that buy button or when you set a price as a marketer, it's not just a transaction that's happening or about to happen. It's a complex emotional drama playing out in the theater of the brain. The product ignites a desire. It lights up that reward center. Meantime, the price tag, it's going to be poking and prodding at your pain points. It's going to be stirring up that emotional loss. So as marketers, it becomes our job not to just sell. It becomes our job to choreograph a dance where the brain scales tip towards reward and away from pain. We're not just pushing products. I don't want you to be pushing products or services. I want you to be crafting experiences. Experiences that resonate emotionally and tipping the scales in favor of desire over dread. And here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. This isn't about manipulation. This is about understanding. This is about empathy. And this is about aligning what you offer with the intrinsic desires and the needs of those that you seek to help. That's not manipulation. That's just getting right in there and getting right to the core of the issue. It's about creating a value proposition so compelling that the pain of parting with their hard-earned money pales in comparison to the joy of the gain you're offering to take them on. Right? Okay. As this episode ends and you step back into the world of buying and selling, I want you to be armed with these insights. And I want you to ask yourself these questions. How do I tip the scales towards reward for my clients, for my prospects, for my customers? And how can I make my offering not just a product, not just a service, but literally a key to happiness, a solution to a pain point or a problem that they are currently engaged in, and a fulfillment of a positively emotional desire? You do that, my friends, and man, you can put your prices way higher than you currently have them. And with that, as we wrap up another episode of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, I want to say if today's episode sparked a neuron or two in your brain, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Maybe even share it with those in your network. Let's spread this brilliant information, this knowledge far and wide with those that can see value from it. But wait, hold on one second, my friends. There's more. If you're intrigued just a little bit by today's discussion and hungry for more insights on building connections and growing your business, make sure you go back and check out episode 75. Yeah, I know, 75. This is episode 456 for those that don't realize it. I've been around a minute. Go back and listen to one of the early episodes. This features my friend Jake Anderson. And here we talked about building human connections that will grow your engagement and your business. It's a deep dive into the art of authentic engagement, and I think it's kind of the perfect companion to today's topic. Remember, every episode of this podcast, I think, is a step towards understanding the art as well as the science of entrepreneurship. So keep listening, keep learning, and let's keep growing together, shall we? Think successfully and take action.